Morning, everybody. This is an exciting day because we get to depart from some of that nonfiction that we've been doing and write a story. And I'm really excited about it, and I hope you are too. I wanted to show you the book. Remember I talked about how I'm going to make your book into a book like this? It'll have a cover, most likely. You'll probably choose a picture. This was Jordan Logan. You might know Jordan. And you can see that she has a table of contents with a lot of chapters all about the American Revolution. And then she wrote about, she made a timeline, which I'll show you in a minute. Then her focus topic, which was one of the events of the revolution. She wrote a story, and then she wrote about the Battle of Bunker Hill, and then has this page of citations, like you guys. So kind of cool to see the book already done. So all about the American Revolution, which many of you have started and some people have even finished. And then this is the timeline that Miss Patty will show you how to do after vacation. It's so much fun. If you want to, it's an option. Then she did a focus topic called the Daughters of Liberty. Instead of doing one of the events from the American Revolution, the causes, she did a group of people. And then here's her story, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. And then she wrote about Bunker Hill, the 5 paragraphs that you just worked on last week. And here are her works cited, which is the sources that she used, which was much longer because she was in the classroom with all the books in the library available to her, which is not like what your world is right now. So that's kind of what the whole thing looks like. And I want to talk today about how to create your story. So there are 3 really, really important elements when you're writing a story that's bringing history to life. You need to talk about a character, some central person who's the event's going to be about, and then you need to figure out where it's going to happen. And then finally, what is the problem? And you most likely won't have a big problem that gets solved because this is a really short story. Look, it's really, really mini. It's just a moment in time, a snapshot. And when I share it with you, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about more. So the key thing to decide is who is where and they're doing what. So let's think about let's think about the Boston Massacre. That'd be a fun one to do. So who would be there? Well, that Captain White would be there, and Crispus Attucks was there, and there were a lot of townspeople there. It'd be kind of fun to have it be like a kid who saw it from around the corner, but maybe took part in that throwing of the ice balls, remember, with the rocks inside? So he would be maybe in that... in the square in Boston where it took place by Faneuil Market. Remember those pictures of the Boston Massacre? And what was he doing? Well, I think at first he was just bored and he was hanging around with some friends, and then he decided that it would be fun to do what they're doing, and so he made an ice ball. He put a rock inside, and then he hurled it at one of the soldiers and hit him on the side of the head, and then, remember what happened next in the Boston Massacre. That'd be kind of a fun story to write, wouldn't it? We wouldn't have to solve the Boston Massacre or tell the whole story, but since we know a lot about it, we could kind of imagine a boy being there. So it would be something like this. Let's see, Thomas, that's a good name for that time period. Thomas was walking down the hill, kicking the ground with his feet in the muddy dirt of a March morning in Boston. Or was it afternoon? March afternoon in Boston. He heard some noise around the corner. It sounded like a bunch of guys shouting and hurling insults at the soldiers. Whoa, this sounds like fun, Thomas thought, and he raced around the corner. You body backs, go back to England. Stand away, young men, or you'll have to be going to jail. He heard a lot of people shouting back and forth. Jonathan noticed that some of the kids were picking up snowballs. Oh, this could be fun, he thought, throwing snowballs at those bloody backs. He bent over, scooped up some of the slush, and then he saw a little rock, and he thought, ooh, when I make a snowball against my brother, sometimes I put rocks inside. And he really packed it in, almost like an ice ball. He reached back and hurled it. See how you do it? You just have to make a movie in your mind. You have to make it up as you go. It's really fun. And my story is not going to be exactly like what I just said out loud, is it? No. But you could tell your story out loud to somebody, or to your stuffy, or to a pet, and or just say it inside your head to yourself, and just get sort of the juices flowing. Who is it going to be? Where are they going to be? And what are they doing? And then we need to think about the story arc, of course, beginning, middle, and end. But it's not a big long story. It's not a 3 or 4 page story. It's a 1-page story. Let me share Logan's with you. Rickety click, rickety clickety, as my old wagon, drawn by my horses Muffin and Starlight, made its ragged way down the bumpy dirt road. Halt! A regular came to the front of my cart, so I couldn't sneak by. Another regular came up behind my cart, so I couldn't get by. Wagon check. Out of the two soldiers, nothing was threatening me yet, as the regular behind me carefully crept up to my wagon. Then the other soldier said, "Name?" "Adam John Way," I said. "Adam John Way, what do you have in your cart?" I stammered. The old lady across the dirt road, Ruth Bench, shoved her hand into her stained apron pocket and scattered chicken feed under the horse's feet. "Ee, chick, 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 chick," Ruth repeatedly called. As a crowd of chickens gathered under the horses, they got frazzled and reared. Meanwhile, a regular was about to open a barrel of molasses. Does this story sound a little familiar? Does it remind you of the day that I was teaching about spying? So Logan took that moment and made it into a story of her own. As Muffin and Starlight slowed down to a trot, the creaky wagon wheels touched down on the soft dirt in front of our cottage. My wife silently swept out the house to help unload the barrels of molasses, and as I silently carried a barrel to the boiler pan to be turned into sugar. "Papa!" "Take the sheep down the dirt road, then come right back," I said firmly. "What?" John, my son, asked. "Just do what I say," I pleaded into the darkness. He ran to the loose pasture door of sleeping sheep. He herded them out and down the narrow dirt road. On the way, I can suspect he saw his friend whose parents told him the same. I sent him down the narrow dirt road so he could cover up the carriage tracks so the regulars couldn't hunt us down. She did a good job, didn't she? It's a great story. It has a lot of suspense, and it has what I think is really important, a lot of details about the period of the time. My favorite part of this whole story is she reached into her stained apron pocket. I love that part. It seems so realistic to me. So what are you going to do today? Well, you're going to think about a story, and you're going to think about who and where and what they were doing. And you're going to just tell a little snippet of life in the time of the American Revolution. Could be from the battle that you studied, or it could be from one of the events we studied as a class, or it could be from a person that you read a lot about when you read the biographies. There's a lot of leeway here, and it's a lot of fun. So pick something that you think you're going to enjoy. Tomorrow, I'll talk about writing a draft and what we should be looking for elements of a story. But for today, we just figure out a plan. If you want to, you can jot some notes in your Discovery notebook or on a piece of paper. So tomorrow, you need to have a plan. Who is doing what, and where are they? Specifically, where are they? Like on the street, or in the wagon, or on top of Breed's Hill, looking down over the British. Okay, have fun. See you tomorrow.